Hello, this is Lolly. Today I want to play with water slides. Now this is an old craft that has come back in. It's in fashion, in style. It's popular again. When I was a child, my mother used these often. I remember going with her to the dime store to look at more so she can buy them and decorate the house. And I even remember my crib had a big teddy bear on the end of it. So here's a coaster, a chipboard coaster that I painted first with one coat of this baby pink folk art paint, and then applied the water slide and added 2 coats of Duraclear Ultra Matte finish on it. So I'm going to show you while I'm talking, show you the water slides that were sent to me by Dress My Craft, the maker of this brand of water slide. And you can see how beautiful they are, many different, and they have so many more that I haven't even seen yet. This is just a random sampling. They can be put on glass, on wood, plastic, leather, metal, a painted surface, journaling cards, etc. For the best results, you really want to put some kind of a varnish on it. Oh, so what you want to do is you need to have a design picked out, a surface picked out, and then you need a pan big enough or large enough and flat that you can lay your image in to soak in water. I'm going to see if this will fit across here. It will. This will be my first time on a conical surface. Well, excuse me, a prism, a circular prism here. What I'm going to do is use this, which is one of those tall candle pillar holders that I got these are from the dollar store. I'm using rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just giving the inside a wipe to make sure there's no fingerprints, etc. in there. And you can put this on there as is, or you can paint the surface first. You can paint the outside, or you can paint the inside. I am going to paint the inside. I think I'm going to like that look, and I'm going to go ahead and use this again. So what I decided was that I will mix up the acrylic paint with just a little bit of Mod Podge to give it an extra glue and stick-to-itiveness to stick to this glass. I don't really have any measurements, but, and this is awfully big. I wish I had something smaller at the current time. I've already mixed this up. You don't want to shake your Mod Podge because that will get air bubbles in it. Now, people ask me why I have mine in a little jar, because I have this huge Mod Podge and it's really hard to reach the bottom of it. So that's all I need, just a little bit. And I'm not even sure that I'm mixing up enough to be able to get all the way down into my project here. So we'll see. Just going to mix that in. I might need a few drops of water to give it the consistency that will make it pour better. I think I'm going to have to mix up some more. I can tell now already this is not going to be enough. So I'm going to dump this in here and mix some more. Really think I'm going to need some more of that. If you're using your paintbrushes for Mod Podge, make sure you really rinse them well. Although I got these brushes from the art supply store, I told them, look, I'm using these for Mod Podge. I want quality brushes, but not necessarily your best artist brushes. And so that's what I got. And if I get junky ones, then they shed hairs all over my project. Okay, now we just start swirling that around to coat the glass. This is why the water is helpful. Now you could just do a drip design where you're not actually covering the entire thing. But I think I'm going to help it by spreading it around with my paintbrush because I didn't get enough water in there. You don't want it too runny. But I also don't want brush strokes. I'm just kind of giving it a coat because that will help it to flow around better when I roll it around. But I don't want brush strokes, so I am going to still swirl it when I'm done. We're going to clean up our supplies really well. You might want to use paper towels for your project, but right now I am going to use rags, because then I just go back and I wash them really well, rinse them and then wash them. So I'm going to keep swirling this around to get this paint coated all the way here, and then I'm going to put it upside down to drain on a cooling rack. Okay, so this has had plenty of time to dry on the inside, and you can see how beautiful this is now, and so glossy. So we need to do the alcohol rub on the outside again, and I know my hands are clean because I have just washed them. Okay, and I have a cloth under here with the ends rolled over so it won't roll off my table while I'm trying to do this video. So you need a pan of water big enough to hold your image flat, and you need some absorbent material. I'm hoping that this cloth will be absorbent enough, or you could use a sponge. We're going to cut around this, and I don't need these things here. They're sentiments, and if you can't read them, put them in a, facing a mirror, or hold them up to a light. And I can see this says enjoy little moments, and this one says every flower must grow through dirt. But I don't want those, I just want this image. So I'm going to cut, not touching the image, but I'm getting myself a couple millimeters around the image. Okay, sorry, I had to cut that off, and I know I was off camera there. So we are leaving the protective film on there, and you can see I'm getting close but not touching the image. And then the image here, the design itself, has basically some glue that activates in water. So we don't want to touch that. That's why we're leaving this protective sheet on there as we go around here. Now, in the case of some of these ones that have border around them, if you want that black border, cut around the black border instead of inside the black border. It's totally up to you. Okay, so when we get over here, I think I'm going to leave this section right there. I'm not going to cut all the way in, because that is going to be how I'm going to hold on to it without getting my fingers all over the image itself. So right there is where I can hold on to. Okay. Let's see. Yes, just big enough. So we're going to pull back on the protective sheet on the front and pull that off right there. And again, I'm only holding part of the image that's not the actual design. And I need to remember that's where I am going to hold this when I pull it in and out. I'm going to put this in the water and count 10 to seconds. 10 to 15 is 15 is your max. Okay, when you pull it out, you want to get the excess water off. I'm just kind of letting it hit the end here, not the design, but the back of the design, the carrier sheet. Let's put this back in here. Very carefully lay that on there. And this is when we want to take the cloth or sponge or whatever you're using to gently, oops, I see I'm already sliding here, to gently tap it and get some of that excess water off of there. And then you can hold on to this carrier sheet right there, and just kind of from the center out get rid of some of the air bubbles. You can see that my transfer sheet has already torn. Sometimes it's more fiddly when you have a large image, and sometimes it's more fiddly also when you have the a curved surface like I have here. And then you just pull that off gently. This one. slide that off. If you notice any air bubbles, now's the time to get them. And so what I'm going to do is put this back on right over here and slide it back off again gently. You want to let this air dry. You do not want to take any kind of heat to it, okay? So it doesn't take long at all, and then you will want to seal this with some kind of a clear varnish or clear coat, protective. Okay, I decided to use this, which I had gotten on clearance at Tuesday morning, and it's like Mod Podge, but it's glittery. I thought the extra sparkle would help, and I really like it. I don't know if you can tell the sparkle on there. I will point out one thing here, and that I messed up here because, and you can't tell because of the way the design is made, but I had picked it up thinking it was dry and it wasn't. So really give this a couple hours to really make sure it's dry before you add that. All in all, I love it, and I think this will look beautiful on the shelf in my craft room.